It's crazy how a simple mistake can lead to such final circumstances. 22-year-old Tyreece Daley lost his life after mistakenly trying to attempt to enter a stranger's car that he had mistaken for a taxi he had booked. Now let that sink in, digest it and find reason. 22-year-old Tyreece Daley had gone on a night out with mates on April 2nd of last year to celebrate a friend's birthday. They had a few drinks, listened to music, went clubbing, laughed and joked with his friends. Now after the night ended, him and his friends ordered an Uber to pick them up from Beckenham Junction station's car park. Now of course they were waiting around in the early hours of the morning. At 4:50 AM, Tyreece saw Volkswagen Golf arrive at the location the same time his taxi was supposed to arrive. Now Tyreece and his mate approached the Volkswagen, attempting to get in, only the Volkswagen wasn't a taxi and the driver of the car was 28-year-old Dejon Anaughe, and he didn't take kindly to strangers approaching his vehicle. Sadly, there was no talking, there was no reasoning, there was no time to find common ground. Instead, a scrap ensued, and Dejon, whom had been armed, produced a blade and he actually used it. Tyreece was targeted to the head of all places and also the heart, and the wounds he suffered were critical. As for his mate, he was targeted in the abdomen and also the groin. Now Tyreece was rushed to hospital where sadly he passed away 3 weeks later. As for Dejon, after the incident he made a run for it. He then phoned the mate 5 minutes later and then passed his car over to them. Soon after, the police started an investigation and then they traced the Volkswagen to Dejon's friend. Now Dejon's friend was arrested soon after. Now while this was going on, Dejon himself actually shaved his beard and shaved his head, trying to change his identity and trying to avoid capture. Now police eventually arrested Dejon a week later at his home in Lewisham on April 10th. When detained, Dejon pleaded guilty to the blade but did claim self-defense, even though Tyreece was targeted again to the head and heart and his mate was targeted to the stomach and groin area. Now Dejon is due to be sentenced in May and hopefully Tyreece Daley's family can get a bit of closure. Condolences, stay safe,